Hi everyone, this is Freya. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who have been following my channel for a while, you'll remember that I used to sound like this. Yeah, pretty different from how I sound now. So I want to talk about how exactly I train my voice. And I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm not an expert on voice. Everything I'm going to talk about I learned from the Linguistics Discord server and the Trans Voice Lessons YouTube channel. I'll link both in the description below. And I highly recommend you check out Trans Voice Lessons in particular because she really is the bleeding edge of trans femme voice research right now. I'm going to start by first dispelling the myth that it's mainly about pitch. So to demonstrate, I'll start with a male voice. And now let me just bring the pitch up. And now my pitch is similar to my female voice, but it just sounds like a high-pitched guy. Now, keeping the pitch roughly the same, let me just return to my female voice. So here's the thing. While pitch does play a part, it's far from the most important part. What actually makes the biggest difference is vocal tract length, or VTL, also known as resonance or timbre. I'm actually not the best person to demonstrate this. Trans Voice Lessons released an amazing video, like literally just today, and it demonstrates the differences between pitch and resonance far better than I ever could. Anyways, this probably sounds really confusing, so let me just explain. I want you to imagine an instrument with a big chamber for sound to vibrate in, like a guitar. Now imagine an instrument with a smaller chamber like a ukulele. The bigger chamber of the guitar produces more resonance than the ukulele, which results in a more rumbling sound, even when the same note is played at the same pitch and volume. Similarly, during male puberty, testosterone lengthens the vocal cords, and this lengthening means that male voices vibrate across a bigger chamber than female voices, and therefore produce more resonance, which leads to the rumbly characteristic of male voices. Trans femme voice training is basically all about training yourself to decrease your vocal tract length, and therefore the space that your voice vibrates in. And this can be achieved in a few ways. The most important one is by raising your larynx height. And to do this, you first need to become aware of the muscles that you're using to control it. And the main exercise for this is called big dog, small dog. I want you to imagine a big dog. As you can hear, there is a rumbly characteristic to trying to pant like a big dog. Now imagine a small dog like a chihuahua, and starting from your big dog pant, you want to work your way up to the small dog. I know it's cringe, but whatever. As you can hear, the sound got progressively brighter and less rumbly. What you're actually doing here is raising the height of your larynx, and probably to some extent raising your pitch too. But, well, it's not important to worry about right now. The key to achieving a feminine voice is to perform this exercise to the point where raising your larynx is no longer difficult, then applying this raised larynx position to your speaking voice. So starting from the big dog position, let's just slowly work our way up until we get to the chihuahua position, and I'm actually just going to drop it down a little because to speak at that limit strains my voice a bit too much, and it doesn't sound completely natural. Larynx height is actually not the only way you can modify your vocal tract length. There are several other techniques, such as changing vowel posture, which also contribute. But larynx height is definitely the main one, and it has the greatest effect by far. These other techniques are beyond the scope of this video, and unfortunately they're also beyond my current knowledge, so I probably shouldn't teach them. But yeah, that's a very brief explanation of how trans femme voice training works. I hope this was educational or intriguing. Thank you all for watching, and see you all in my next video. Bye!